everyone, I'm Sejal Parnami from Diablo Bakes and we are here today to make mango cheesecake panna cotta. Now, it's a very easy recipe. I used to make it at home all the time. We developed this recipe when we had a very fast, very instant and very urgent catering order for a baby shower, and I had no clue what to do. And they just wanted like a very fresh ingredient, they wanted it sweet and they wanted like 100 pieces. And I had to come up with it on the spot, and this is what I came up, and it's been a constant hit ever since. Now, I hope everyone's having a great weekend. I know we all have a lockdown, it's at least improving, we're all moving towards it. There is a lot of negativity around, but you're here to create a little bit of positivity step by step. So, let's get started straight towards it. So what we're going to need today is a couple of ingredients. It's a two-part recipe. One is going to be the panna cotta and one is going to be the mango jelly. Now, panna cotta is basically an Italian dessert which is cooked cream. It's very simple. It's just, well, cooked cream. Alright, so we have mixed it with a Greek ingredient which is cream cheese. So cheesecakes basically started in ancient Greece and it has been a delicacy ever since. Alright, so we already have all our ingredients measured. It's always best that before you start, you always have all the ingredients in front of you and measured. We are going to use a lot of dairy today, which Amul is great for, and they're all at room temperature. Whenever you're using dairy, make sure it is at room temperature. Alright, so let's get started. We have 150 grams of Amul fresh cream. A pro tip, whenever using fresh cream that you require a rich texture for it, you should keep it in the fridge for about 2 to 3 days. That way, all the heavier part comes at the bottom and you can scoop it up. Now, this part is richer in fat and will have a much smoother texture. You will thank me for it later. Here we have milk, which is about 50 to 75 grams. It's basically how dense you want the recipe to be. The recipe is yours. You're the owner of it. I'm just going to guide you a little bit through it. Make sure that you have fun with it and play around with it as you like. Now here we have cream cheese. What I particularly love about this particular cream cheese is that it does not curdle when hot temperatures are added to it. Cream cheese has a habit that it really curdles very fast and it is not exactly a very smooth mixture, but we will make sure it happens that way. All you have to remember is it should be in room temperature and you keep it in the mixing bowl that you're planning to do the entire recipe in. Now we have some crushed cookies. These are Amul butter cookies. I love them because they're really flaky and extremely buttery, and that's something we all obviously love. That is going to be as much as you like. The cream cheese is around 50 to 75 grams. Again, as per your discussion. Milk, 50 grams. And now we have around 45 grams of sugar. Now, I as a person do not like my sweets to be as sugary or as sweet, but if you are a person who does that, make sure to play with it, make sure to add a little. If you like it even less sweet, go for it. And the best part, it can be made diabetic friendly. Skip the sugar altogether. We're going to make a mango jelly, so mangoes already have sugar in it and it is going to be sweet. So don't worry, your cheesecake panna cotta will be as nice as you want it. Now, a very special ingredient that we have over here is agar-agar. Now, agar-agar is a leavening and thickening agent, very similar to gelatin. But gelatin is an animal-based product. It is not vegetarian. Agar-agar is made from seaweed and completely vegetarian. We have a serving glass and obviously the cookies that we crushed from before. Now we're going to get started. All you have to do is take up a heavy bottom pan and start. I have kept it, and if you're making it on gas, make sure to do it on a medium-high flame. You don't want the mixture to be very hot because that results in the burning of the cream. If you have any queries for it, just make sure to leave it in the comments and I will make sure to answer it. In this bowl, we're going to add our cream. I'm using a spatula to get all of it out. Just make sure if you want to use a spoon, use a spoon. There is absolutely no restrictions for it. Add in sugar, and your agar. Just sprinkle it out. All you want to do is make sure that it gets well hydrated. Now agar only works if you hydrate it. You're going to keep all the utensils clean and together. Make sure you work in a clean kitchen. I don't know, I'm having some issues with my induction. I'm sorry. I'm going to get back to it. Yeah. So while we're at it, let's just make sure that we have our cream cheese over here. Whisk it a little just to make it a little bit smooth. That's it. We just want it to be creamy. That's all.
Instead of cream cheese, what can be used?
Instead of cream cheese, what you can do is, well, cream cheese is one of the main ingredients here as it is a cheesecake, but you can just make your homemade cheesecake, cream cheese. You can use cheese, which is Amul proper cheese. Just make sure you use the unsalted version, or if you want to go all out, use Hunker. It's simple, it's easy, you can make it at home. Hunker should work probably a lot well. Now you see it's already bubbling. All you have to do is wait for it to come to a boil to activate our agar from it. Now while we're at it, is take a serving glass and put our crushed butter cookies at the bottom of it. Just a little bit, as much as you like. I personally do not like a lot of it, so I'm going to put it less. It's just that it's a traditional panna cotta, and panna cotta is all about the cream. Once it starts simmering, we remove our spatula and we use the whisk. Even if the whisk has a little bit of cream cheese on it, it's alright. It's all going in the same plate. Start mixing. Make sure you whisk it very well so that there is nothing at the bottom and everything gets submerged very well. You just want to wait till the sugar is absolutely dissolved. The agar has hydrated and dissolved as well. You can see the bubbles coming. Okay, now I'm going to show you one technique which I find is very important. Cooking, as usual as baking, is all about the temperature. The one time that you handle the temperature well, you are going to be a pro. There's no doubt about it. Now, as you can see that the cream cheese is at room temperature, but our milk and cream mixture is very, very hot. Now, if we add directly, it will curdle, and as usual, everyone will get panicky and you would not know what to do. And sometimes when a mixture curdles, we cannot really bring it back together. So what we're going to do is, we put it off heat. We take some of the mixture, you come here, put it in the pan and start whisking. See, if you can see, it started to curdle in the start, but because Amul is a really nice ingredient and it has packed all the milk solids so well, it becomes creamy instantly. Once it's all smooth, we add a rest of the mixture. Keep on whisking and whisking till everything's as smooth as you like it. Now, if you want to have any flavoring inside the cheesecake, you can do it at this stage. Just put in a fruit puree. What you can do is even put melted chocolate in it. It's absolutely delicious. You can just flavor it according to what you like. You can tweak it according to what you like. You just need to remember to have lots and lots of fun with it. Good enough? That's it. That's seriously how easy to make it. This is a panna cotta mixture. Now, normally what we do in all the kitchens and in our commercial kitchen especially and in the restaurant is pick up a huge piping bag, fill it and start piping. But as a chef, I understand how big a plastic impact we have on the environment. We are one of the biggest creators of our carbon footprint, and this is something that I like to rectify on every step possible. I know it's a little difficult and it is all the smaller steps that make count. So what I'm going to use is just as one. I'm cooking at home, I don't need to use unnecessary plastic, and I would really like if all of you do not as well. Now, we can do a simple recipe, we can do a simple plating. We can just add it on the top and layer it accordingly. But even though it's so simple, why skip on being as elegant and as stylish as we can? So we're gonna take a tray. I have just used a rolled up dal. It's my normal bathing dal or kitchen dal. It does not have to be anything fancy at all. It's a very simple arrangement, but it works wonderful. What you do is take your serving glass filled with biscuit crumble, keep it on the side, and see, it does roll. Just make sure it is stable before you start. Now, I am a very clumsy chef. Even though I've had lots of practice, but kitchen failures happen, and not even 2 hours ago from starting this live, I just broke like 3-4 glasses. So, I know, you know what I mean right now. Make sure it's secured, make sure that it's sturdy, and all you have to do is pick up your cream cheese mixture. This is your panna cotta. Now, it has some bubbles on top, so you lightly skim them away. What we normally use is a torch, which is a gun, and we torch the bubbles away. But bubbles don't really matter. It's all about just the presentation. And I like little bubbles. It gives a nicer texture. So you scoop it up slowly and steadily. I made a mess. I'm so sorry about that. You slowly and steadily add it from the side till it reaches the brim. Add as much as you want. All you want to do is create that slant texture. So what's going to happen is, because this mixture has agar-agar in it, it will set it just as it. So you want to just keep it and pop it in the fridge if you are in a hurry. If you're not in a hurry, keep it in a fridge for about like 30-40 minutes. I usually keep it in the chiller. That's also where I keep all of my milk and all my dairy products. It works perfectly well out there. If you have made a mistake, it doesn't matter. Just clearly wipe it off. It's as good as new. Nobody has to know. So this is what we're looking for. It's a slant texture. If you put it in the fridge and the freezer very carefully, it's going to set just as is. So let's keep this aside. Now we go to the part 2 of the recipe, which is the mango jelly. Now summers are here and I cannot get enough of mangoes. I am a huge mango fan, and I want to use it in every way possible. But how much of cut mangoes can I really have, right? So I'm going to take another heavy bottom saucepan. Here I have some mango puree. It's a mango puree of about 2 mangoes, that's it. We have some 100 to 150 ml, I have to use 150 ml of water. We have 30 grams of sugar because my mangoes were sweet. If your mangoes are a little sour, if it's a little too sweet, adjust your sugar accordingly. It's your recipe, not mine. Now again we have agar-agar. So I have taken agar-agar as 2 to 3 grams. The other recipe also had 3 grams of it. So agar-agar is a highly capable leavening agent, and it's much more faster and firmer than gelatin. So if you're actually substituting gelatin for agar-agar, it's going to be about 10 grams of gelatin powder, that is, 10 grams of gelatin powder to 3 to 4 grams of agar-agar. So use accordingly if you want to use substitutes. We're going to add our mango puree in the saucepan. Just add all of it inside. Then take in the water. So what I do is, when I'm puring my mango puree in the food processor, I add my water instantly to it. At the same time, it is water, so it doesn't really have to be, like fresh from the glass or fresh from the water, because if we churn it with the mango puree, you can get as much of the mango flavor as possible. You don't miss out on the little chunks that are too hard to scrape out. You just get everything, and zero waste is the way to go forward. Once you have emulsified it a little bit, and you can see it completely as a homogeneous mixture, which is without any of the mango pulp and the water aside, when it has all come together, see how easy it is? Just mix it and it comes together. That's it. So as soon as you feel like everything has come together, you add in your sugar. Mix it in. You add in your agar-agar. Again, agar-agar needs to be spread out and hydrated. Make sure that whenever you're making it, even if you feel that it's hot enough or you want to use it just as it, wait for the boil. The boil in the agar-agar is what makes it activated. It is extremely important that you make. Wait for the boil, and yeah. So I want to share a little tale with you. Ever since I was a little child, I used to have my own share of Monday blues or general blues, and I have felt sad from time to time, and every time I did that, I used to run to the kitchen and start doing some of the other experiments with it. Because every time I did that, it sent another kind of therapeutic joy to me. It was a relaxing session. Sometimes when I put all my frustration out, all my mental exhaustion out, and every single time that I've gotten a successful recipe out of it, and a lot of times even if I have not gotten a successful recipe out of it, it's something that has calmed me down. It is something that has been with me. And now that the lockdown happened, Corona happened, there's so much negativity, so much harm and destructiveness all over the world. I understand it's a difficult time for all of us, and all we need right now is a little bit of positivity. And I was so glad when Amul started doing this, because what way to better spread positivity than love, as I've said before. And I've seen so many home cooks just take up baking, take up cooking all over again. I've been asked for so many recipes. I see so many of you sharing your stories and your pictures on Instagram or Facebook or on WhatsApp every single day, telling I made this, I made that. And I know all of you have already experienced that. It gives you so much joy, it calms you down. It's a hobby that everyone's taken up, and I'm extremely happy for it. So I hope this helps as well. And if you are one of those few people who have not picked it up this entire time, right now is the best time to do so. Taking a little bit of cooking, a little kind of treats from time to time is not ever a harm. So we're going to leave the mixture for a while and wait for it to come to a boil, because if you keep stirring it, it might really not. If you can see, we already have big bubbles coming up now. All we have to wait is for the major boil. I know it feels like it's simmering right now. I know it looks like it's boiling right now, but you have to wait for it to properly boil. Give it a mix so that none of it is stuck at the bottom and is getting burnt. Now, if you get confused of how much measurements to use for each of this, I'll be posting a list of ingredients and the prep list entirely on my Instagram or my Facebook page. On Instagram, you can follow me as Sejal Parnami, and on Facebook, I'm there as Diablo Bakes. Now that has come to a boil, we turn it off heat. We take our mixture from before, and look at that. Look how simple it was, wasn't it? The biscuits all covered, so it's going to be a nice surprise when you dig in of it. And it looks so elegant. And you just saw how easy it was to make it, so it is absolutely no big fuss. We're going to use our same setup as before. Place our serving glass as in the same position, just this time the Panna Cotta should be on top and the empty canvas should be on the bottom. Make sure you adjust it as much as possible and to keep it as sturdy as possible. We don't want kitchen disasters right now. Keep it like that, and normally I would wait for a few minutes for it to cool down just a tad bit, but because we don't have that much time right now, we can just use it directly. There's absolutely no harm in it. Make sure you don't burn your fingers. I'm going to again take a spoonful of it. Very careful. Come from the side. Hold your spoon, hold your glass, because right now we're adding a little bit weight to the structure, and previously the weight is on the top, so it might tilt a little bit, but don't worry, it's completely alright. Just make sure it's sturdy. Keep on adding the mixture. That's all you basically have to do. Add it from the side. Now that it has reached the top, I can start. If you just look a little bit closer, you can see that this is at, let's say, about a 75-degree angle, and so is this. Just take this up, put it, keep it aside, and that's about it. This is as easy as it can be. Now, you know how everyone at summer is just like, oh, you have like a party over, a summer party over, and you're looking for like, you have guests over and you're looking for ideas or what to serve. You don't want too big of a hassle, but you need to have something impressive. You want to make your name, and instead of just ordering some chocolates from outside or just a simple ice cream from outside, what you can do is just make it at home. It is under 10 minutes, it's the easiest recipe possible, and it is very impressive. Pop it in the fridge again for another 30 minutes. Wow, that's why I say it's always important to make sure your things are stable. And as I mentioned, I'm a really clumsy chef. Don't worry, this will not happen to you. Even if it will, it does not need to panic. Pick up another glass, start pouring, because disasters happen. All we have to do is keep on moving on. Now, I've already created the dish before because we did not have time to set it. Here it is. Just look at this beauty. It's so stylish. I go gaga over it every single time that I see it. It's a crowd favorite. Especially this like plating idea. Look how, does it seem like it's been cooked under 10 minutes? Because it does not to me. And it does look like a restaurant style dish. Made at home and so simple. Now, you can plate it just as it. But if you want a tad bit of freshness to it, you can do cut mangoes. Place it inside. It's your dish, your garnishing. Do however as you like it. And how about a little bit of mint on top? Because a little bit of color and a bit of freshness can never go wrong. Now, I know it's mango season and it's summers, but we don't have to stick to it. If you get bored of mango, here what I've done is made into an orange and peach jelly. It's the exact same recipe as before. You use the peach puree and add a little bit of orange juice to it, and ta-da! See the color? So refreshing. Now I want to keep it just as it because I like the design and I like the color. But obviously, if you don't have enough fridge space, or you're running out of time and you don't really want to set it in that teased position, or that you've seen how my glass broke right now and I'm a little bit scared, you can just plate it straight up. This is my cheesecake panna cotta, and this is my cherry jelly. Now cherry is going to be used the exact same way. There is no apple hassle in it, and look at the color. It's all simple. Now my mom's favorite is actually cherry and coconut. So you can just garnish it with a little bit of desiccated coconut on top. Absolutely easy. Such a nice plating technique. It looks like something reforming. And my favorite, a little bit of mint on top. So easy and so delicious. I'm gonna have my favorite peach and orange recipe before. Now, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys give it a try. As mentioned before, if you want the ingredient of this, it's going to be uploaded on my Instagram handle, Sejal Parnami. Do go check it out. And